Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here is my message of the day for everyone. It's not enough to be talented. You also have to be well educated. Let me give you an example for that in terms of music, specifically of conducting, because conductors have to make very serious decisions. And sometimes it's not based on their emotions, but on your knowledge. For example, here is this wonderful second rhapsody by Franz Liszt that is very popular all over the world. People love it on several different reasons. And this rhapsody basically became so popular, so people started to write beautiful orchestrations for different kind of ensembles for it. Here is the original piano version of it. You can see that it's in C sharp. It starts measure for continuing the main theme with major. We have an 8 bars introduction that is actually 5 plus 3 bars. They're very special. And you can see that there are grace notes. Grace note at the beginning, grace notes in the second bar, before the half note, after the half note, before and after. How will you interpret that? Everyone plays it on their own intention, how you feel on that day. And you won't play the same way. You are not an artificial intelligence. You play every day a little bit different. This is a big challenging when you make an orchestration. But let's stay for a second with this version and let me play it for you. So you could hear that every minute I played it a little bit different, how I felt, and I will feel every moment a different way. Now, the big challenge is when people started to make orchestration of this for different kind of ensembles. And let's see the string ensemble, they pronounced, wrote it down, the grace notes. They froze it, they made it very educational, so there is no way to keep the basic characteristics. As you can see, there are 4/16 notes, duplet, triplet, written in 4/4. So the grace notes are not grace notes anymore. It's very educational. Just let's listen to it a little bit. So you could hear that this is more artificial intelligence because everything is pronounced. You also might notice that it moved from the original C sharp major minor to D because it's easier for the strings, easier in every aspects of performance. So you have to make a decision. Is it worth to play it? Maybe in education, yes, but in a concert performance, I'm not 100% sure. Let's see, there is the orchestration for symphony orchestra. Let's take a look at that, how it is done for symphony. Very different. Let me show you. Here's a very nice orchestration. I already showed you this one, and here is the symphony orchestra. You can see again, the notation is different. This is when you're well educated, the background will help you to find the right decision. When you can see this again in 2/4 like the original piano version, but they are 30 seconds and kind of approaches to the notation. But again, it's clearly written a fifth and the sixth, not like grace notes. but pronounced real notes. So it's a little bit more artificial. So you have to make a decision. What will you perform? Let's take a look at the wind band version. There is a nice the wind band version too. What we have there? Again, the orchestrator needed to make a very important decision. What to which one would be So here is the band version, and as you can see that again, it's in a move to C minor from C sharp minor, the original, and you can see that the melody from the strings, violins and violas move to the clarinets, like Berlioz they did in the Grand Symphony Triumph, replacing all the violins in the symphony with clarinets, establishing of the concert wind band. Here, Franco Cesarini is doing the same, giving the main melody for the clarinets, but he uses triplets, duplets, triplets again, and not 6 note, but 2 triplets for the grace notes. So it's more pronounced articulation of the grace notes. So you give less chance to play the music how Liszt wrote it on the piano and how Liszt suggested to be performed when you see the original piano version. You will notice that, wait a second, those are grace notes. Those are not pronounced 5 and 6. It's written like that, but they're grace notes. It's depending on your feeling. So which one will you choose as a conductor? It's all based. If you have just the string score and you don't check the piano score, you will do how it's written there. If you have an orchestra score, you do the orchestra score. No, you have to make research, you have to look for it, you check it and find your own way. And if you need to make some adjustments, do some adjustments. And this is when it will be your own performance. And let's see how Karajan is handling this big challenge with his performance. And I promise you. But this doesn't want me to. Okay, here we are. Very good. So you can see that he was very close to the pronounced sixes, and but he didn't do the same way. He was a more improvisative, closer to the piano version. Why is it important? Because what are those rhapsodies about? Franz Liszt wrote them when he recognized that he's Hungarian. He went back to Hungary and wanted to know what is the Hungarian culture, what is Hungarian music. And he was directed to the czarda, where he learned the czardas, and he wrote a series of Hungarian rhapsodies based on those melodies that he picked up from the gypsy players from the czarda, called czardas. And it's very interesting that he uses the same pattern and Beethoven in Symphony Number 5, starting with struggle and ending with big victory, because the Hungarian history, it's extremely sad. It's very bloody. It's a lot of struggle. Such as the beginning of the Rhapsody that we just listened to demonstrates. This is why the improvisative part is so important there. You see, the more you know, the more you hear, and you have to be well educated. The 7 different tribes made a blood contract when they established the country in 896. And several people. I wish the internet were today to think the same way how those 7 people did. And they said, from now on, we are brothers and not enemies anymore. I wish that for the world too. And after came Genghis Khan with a big massacre. After 150 years, Turk Ottoman occupation. After the Austrians occupied the country. After the World War One, 2/3 of the country was lost. After came Hitler, and after came Stalin. So we love guests, but when you are always occupied, you are always under pressure. And this is the characteristics of the beginning of the Rhapsody. This is why it's not enough to be talented. You have to be also well educated to know why do you feel how you feel. And actually, this is not only for music and not only for conducting, but every aspects of life. Everything is related to everything. The more you know, the more you hear. And I hope you enjoyed my today's message. Not enough to be talented, but also you have to be well educated. Have a wonderful day with my Hungarian accent in your ears.